Good evening. This is the Elliott Wave update for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100 for Wednesday, July the 26th, 2023. Well, we got everything today, right? We had Metaverse, we had the Fed, we had Jerome Powell doing his deal, his press conference, which just seems to be right now, to me, wash, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. He ends up saying the same thing, pretty much in the same order, answering the questions in the same way. Excuse me. Not being committed to really anything other than something's out there that because they don't want to do really, I think, what possibly they need to or upset the market. In any case, interest rates were hiked 25 basis points just as expected. If you were trading at that particular moment, you're like, okay, what should we do now? In fact, let me just go over and show you. Here we are. This was initially, rates were hiked. Then it was like, okay, first go down, then go up, then go down. And then we love it, we love it, we love it, we love it, because this was during the press conference. The press conference didn't really tell us anything outside of what we already knew. Then press conference over. Ba boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom. Down then, well, now we got to start buying it for the close. And then here, due to this, we had this huge spike, and this came on Metaverse. So Metaverse's earnings, they didn't blow the doors off, but they weren't bad. Their ad revenue increased by 12%, just as everybody thought, because if Google's ads increased and Facebook's have to increase, and we already know how investors love to buy history, because you see history repeats itself over and over and over again, or so is the thought. Now, there were some little hidden things within Meta's earnings report, which really don't go along with pumping the stock up $10. But we'll wait and see, because we saw the same thing happened yesterday with Microsoft. Same thing. Well, we didn't make as much. We lost a little bit, blah, 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 here and there, et cetera, et cetera. Boom, they kind of let the stock go down. And then boom, as soon as Globex opened, which it will again in 25 minutes, they pumped that stock back up and they held it higher. But then overnight, boom, they ran it lower, and then they held it lower, and the stock ended up closing down $13 today. Will Metaverse suffer the same fate? Who knows? In the meantime, starting here with the NASDAQ chart, starting with the S&P chart, it is really nothing to be adding, even though we did this. So I don't have anything firm to place on the chart to say, okay, this is what happened, this is what's next. So right now, it's just going to be my thoughts about what's happened. Now, initially, yesterday, we saw the market go up, just equal this high. And then today, it actually started to come down. And then after the Fed, it actually got even closer to getting down here. And I thought, oh, okay, we had an A, a B, and then another B or something of that nature. Who knew what that would have been? And it's going to come down and retest this. It didn't. And then they spent buying it back up, and then it came back down. So very confusing picture, very confusing market. And again, I got to tell you, it still may be 3, 4, and wave 5 is coming in as the strangest looking diagonal that I've seen in a long, long time. Because the best I can do is 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, and then up and then down, an A and a B, which doesn't make sense to me. We're maybe in that 5th wave, which, who knows? where it's going to land. So again, it's a coin toss at this point. Now, we did go up again, and this time we did make a new high over wave 3. Now, I think this would have happened after the close. So I just want to look at the SPX. See, the SPX makes a high there at 45.81, and that was today. Wave 3 for 45.78. So it did put in a new high after earnings today. So could this in the S&P, in the SPX, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or is it 1 of 5? But then this doesn't make sense. If that's 1 of 5, 2 of 5 should not put in a new low below where wave 1 started. So again, what is this? If I had to speculate, I'm going to tell you that there's a possibility that this fifth wave, as sloppy and nasty as it is, did a couple of things. I'm going to go back over to the ES because that's where I have my resistance and I have everything else lined up. While the market didn't get to 46.26, it did produce a new high above 46.09.25. Not by a whole lot, I got to tell you. It did it by $1.50. But the high is 46.10.75. And I believe at some point I did have resistance around that 46.13 level. So it got pretty dang close. Now, what is coming next? I got to tell you, I really wouldn't know. And most of the time I'd be able to say, well, here's what's the possibilities. With the fact that we went up and made a slight new high, could this be 1, 2, 3 is some bizarre thing, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 3. So in other words, 1, 2, and this all is the third, right to there, did what I was expecting in terms of going up, getting just a little above there to put in the third, drop down A, B, maybe we get a C. I don't know. They're buying up Meta again. They just knocked it down $2. Now they're going to buy it back up $2. So how's that going to affect the S&P? I think initially this, if I had to say, this was the initial blast by Meta, which actually was higher than the stock first ran up to like 323, 324. So now that it's lower, maybe they'll continue to bring this down, because what I can think is that was the top of 3 of 3. And we get this ugly 4, which totally just, it really almost just violates everything. There's the 1 and there's the 4. And it's like, I'm not in a triangle. Again, everything is getting broken right here as to what is going on now. So, and I'm walking this together because I've tried to do this earlier, and I'm like, I got 3, and then I got 3 up to here. That's a B. Then I got 1, 2, and then it goes up and makes a new high. So this ends up being 3 down to here. It's like, what is it after that? A strange move. Let me take it over here, because this is my process, folks. I'm just showing you. It's like it could be many things, right? There's 3. Then we get a deeper. So this turns into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it's all 3s. 3, 3, and that could be a 5. 3. So if this is A, B, C, Maybe. So if this is A, there's an A, there's a B, here's a C. Is this the B? And we're still going to do a C wave down. So this is, aha, this could be it. Here we go. So here from here, A of 4, A, B, C, B of 4. Put it in a regular, B of 4, and then 1, 2, 3. See, it gets nasty. And what is this? Now, let's take it back. Wave 2 cannot exceed the starting point or the end point of wave 1. So I can't say 1, 2, 3. That's not going to work. So you're seeing the difficulty in just trying to interpret. So let's give the benefit of the doubt to the market that it's going to do one of two following things. It will drop back down to 45.55-ish, which is this line right here. The 4 gets moved over, and we do a cleaner 5 waves up. Or this cleans itself up into here, making the intent clear and making the account clearer. Ultimately, I sit and continue to look for confirmation of one direction or the other, of the highs being in or the low for wave 4 not in yet. This is what I'm waiting for. In the meantime, the moves themselves, I will tell you, are tradable. But I think what we saw after that sell, which was a pretty hard sell, from 46.0, almost 46.03, and then the low in that same 1 hour bar was 45.73. So we're talking like, that's $30, $30. NASDAQ dollars, excuse me, S&P dollars. Been a long day. So again, I'm in a quandary as to what all of this is. I can live with this being the 4, but this as a 5, just really difficult at the moment. Very, very difficult at the moment. So I am going to hold on for another day and see if the market doesn't want to clear this up. So can I rule out that we're going to get to 46.27 or higher? No, I cannot. Now we've gotten some of the bigger things out of the way, right? So what do we have left that's really going to manipulate the market or just force the market in one direction or the other? Well, as far as the Magnificent 7 goes, we have Apple still to report, Amazon still to report, and NVIDIA still to report. NVIDIA is not going to come out until probably late August, maybe even the beginning of September. I've not gotten any notice of when they intend to report. So the Fed, they basically laid the plan out. They're not going to make any changes. They're going to take it meeting by meeting. They're not sure if they'll even have, something to do in August, or maybe they'll just push it out to September. It was maybe possible, or maybe, but we're still, we're going to go meeting to meeting, et cetera, et cetera. Nothing definitive, nothing to hang your hat on. Just a lot of statements by the Fed chair that says, oh, we're on top of it, and our goal still remains the same. We're just not sure when we're going to meet next. We have our scheduled meetings, but when we might raise, we do feel that we likely will have to. It was unanimous today at their meeting. Everyone on the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve all agreed, yep, let's hike 25 basis points. And then nothing. So we have to wait. We'll see. What else could come out that the markets really got to digest other than earnings? And there should continue. Well, we have the bigger ones next week. We have Apple and Amazon both on the 3rd of August, and that's Thursday, a week from tomorrow. So here we sit, and it might be sideways until we get more information, for lack of a better word, to make a move. And I did see, again, volatility closed up slightly on the day, But it did appear for much of the day that they were still selling volatility in the indexes and buying volatility in the underlying. And that seemed to be taking place in Meta, in Tesla, in Apple. So, and they might be doing it because Apple reports next week. They might be doing some in Amazon, but I'm not sure how, because Amazon was pretty much down all day long. So again, your guess is as good as mine at this point, but I'm leaving it open. Support should still be found right here at 45.55. Below that level, I'm going to have to go out to my 4-hour chart to take a look that we have this line should likely be removed. Why are they all on there? Not sure what this is attached to. Let me take this out one more. I don't know. I got a rogue. That's that one. I'm going to go out to here, and that's this one. And so those are all just, we're going to be resistance for wave, the larger B wave. I can remove that because we've exceeded all of it. So we have the C wave left, and I can put a line right there at 48.08. I'm going to like this. And we're just going to put that straight across. 48.08. Oh, come on. All right, I'll get it together. I'll put it on there so that we can see it. But it just... okay, am I on? I'll get it. So I'll try to get that on. But as far as support coming down, I think that I got to go to the 4-hour chart and take a peek. If this is all finished, then the first place I'd go start is here to here or here to there. But I think what I have is just price support, and I've got that coming in around that 45.55 level, and then it comes back into 45.43, and it just probably 27 to 30, and then it drops very quickly to 44.11. So we're going to find it at those levels, plus also 4,500, et cetera, et cetera. We have the 4-hour 200 at 44.72. We have a little bit of support from the 4-hour 50, which is at 45.64. So we might drop, then we have this, and then we have a break. And you can see there's not a whole lot in there, except at the 44 level and at the 31 or 25 level. So 31 down to 25. And then it drops very quickly because that was a stronger rally phase. And so we largely, yes, 44.75 to 70, 44.50, et cetera. Round numbers, you usually will find some support. I'll fill in the blanks once I got something to attach to it. Right now, I actually don't. So because what I would be looking for is that completion point to draw my next move, which would be from there to there to there, wherever the high comes in. Then I'm going to get for that initial and for the C wave. Too early, can't do it. Over in the NASDAQ, also just as confusing, to be honest with you. I'll bring it down. Let's start in the hourly chart. Here we are. Same place. Same story. Did another 3 down. Even tried to match that, looking like it was going to break, halted, rallied, and then rallied after hours on Meta's earnings, which they now have taken up another $4. It's pretty crazy. But we can see right now they're bidding the index up $3. I know it'll be higher than that. That I pretty much would think it's going to go higher than it's only going to be up $3 off of its close. But we'll see. Again, if we're going to open up basically below the high from Tuesday, it just keeps this in just as much of a confusing place as the next. The NASDAQ continues, and now it's getting more notice than just me and a few other analysts of the weakness in the NASDAQ. So again, let me just show you. If I put this down to here, and I put the 4 here, and I put the 5 of the 5 of the 5, this turns into wave 1 down. A, B, we do a C wave, and wave 2. Okay, so again, I'm not going to do that right now because I'm going to wait for the confirmation. So right now, I'll leave this here. But it is not looking good for the NASDAQ as far as like it's going to get itself back above 16,000. Every time you think it's going to make a good college try, boom, it fails. So if they're just going to be moving the index very little from where it closed, which is down here, then it puts it under pressure that we got an A, a B, and we can't even get up and finish a C wave. So again, what are we working on? 1, ABC, 2, and we probably could get a 5 out of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, A, B, C, A, B, C, and that's in the wrong direction. So again, what is it? It will work itself out and make it clear, but right now it's like, okay, let me push this back again. See, this is why it takes me a long time, because I'm like, I have to let more trade. So I leave it as I have it for right now. Even if I put the 4 here, this still counts as 3. That still counts as 3. This still counts as 3, and this is just nuts. So everything remains the same. A break below, let me just open this up a little bit, because here I have, if this is minute 4, here's our tags for minute 5. It still has, this is minor 5, we're equality, right? That's the most common. This is the most common. This is the third most common, the 1.618, but not impossible. But boy, it's going to have to pick up the pace and get itself there pretty dang quick. At least be breaking above minute 3. And it hasn't, and it's not even got close. So something's up here. The market is making some changes within the NASDAQ for whatever reason. I just needed to be more clear. In the meantime, I continued to just basically day trade it. And even that was more difficult today. Thin market, light volume pretty much all day until after the Fed. So again, what are we supposed to do? So I'm leaving this all as is. Now tomorrow, pre-market, we have our largest econ or economic data dump of the week, where at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, we have initial jobless claims, durable goods minus transportation. Then we have GDP, we have advanced U.S. trade balance in goods, advanced retail inventories, advanced wholesale inventories, and then at 10 a.m. we have pending home sales. The first 3, initial jobless claims, durable goods, and GDP, very important. But I have to think, like I said yesterday, the Fed governing board likely knew all of these. And that helped factor in that, yes, they will raise, because these are probably going to show that inflation remains. And certain, this isn't doing good, that isn't doing it, et cetera, et cetera. So let's see Let's see what the market wants to do with it. But that's what we got coming out tomorrow. Again, same story here in the NASDAQ. If it breaks below 15,432, then I would think that the upside's done complete. I really would. I would have a trouble pulling this into any wave one down. Excuse me, here, minute wave one down, because there's nothing else there. So a break, this all gets moved. But it has to be a break, and it just really keeps going, which I would anticipate that it would. That's where I'm going to leave it. Sorry I couldn't be more informative and just put more detail on it, because it doesn't exist. And the next update will be on Thursday, July the 27th.